rain or shine. I have empty days. I have no work to do. I have no friends to see. It's my time to recharge. But I don't feel like watching movies or television. I've already been listening to music nonstop. The sentences in books don't even make any sense anymore. A hike is too much of an effort. And I've already put on a face mask for the second time. It's supposed to be a day to take care of myself, but I don't know, I still feel like something's missing. Maybe, perchance, quite possibly, it's time to crack open that mind of mine. I think it's important to take the time out of my week to look inward, to be introspective. Deliberately and productively thinking helps me recognize my own self-worth. It has been pulling me out of the bad habit of chasing after results, and instead, it's helping me refocus my attention towards seeing my own progress, of being the person I want to be. On January 1st of this year, 2020, I had a jolting revelation. I realized that I am not the person who I thought I was. I had always considered myself a free-spirited thinker. I marched to the beat of my own drum. I had figuratively tattooed the word independent inside my lower lip. I didn't care about what other people thought of me. Then I realized I was dead wrong. I spiraled, breaking down nearly every big moment in my life. I questioned if I had made big decisions on my own volition, or if I was just making those decisions because other people were telling me to do those things. Essentially, I didn't really truly know myself. So from January to now, I've been really struggling mentally, and I'm still struggling now. I don't think I'll ever really know myself and my life 100% since I am ever changing. But doing my best to understand so much chaos is a commitment I want to make. I want to find stillness, inner peace every day, or at least most of the time. The one thing that I was able to do to ease my mind, to calm my worries and my fears, was to self-reflect. I do my best to wake up early on the weekdays, make myself some tea or coffee, read a little bit of a book, and start to unravel my mind. I like to journal. It's like keeping a commonplace book of my personal life. I have my life lessons in there that I do read over. You know how they say history repeats itself? It's so true. I repeat my mistakes, and having a journal that makes me conscious of those things I could do better, it guides me away from going backwards. And on those days where I don't feel like waking up that early, I tell myself, Steph, just write at least one thought down. Sometimes that one thought, that quick 30-second reflection, could lead to something more. Self-reflection can happen anyway and anywhere. Before the quarantine, I'd spend my commute thinking. I'd think about all the people I was grateful for, think about all the things that were going really well and things that I wanted to improve upon. Then I would occasionally journal. And I say occasionally because sometimes thinking deliberately twice a day can be very emotionally exhausting for me. I also like talking to my friends and my family. I love hearing the sound of my friends' voices, and along with that, I like hearing what's going on in their minds, and vice versa. I like talking to my friends and hearing what they have to say. I've always had high walls, but something I've noticed from my self-reflection is that I've become more open and trusting. Slowly becoming more in tune with my emotions and finding just the right words to express myself is how I've been breaking down my high walls. You can bike, walk, listen to music, go for a swim, you can do anything you want. The most important step is to tell yourself that you are choosing to be introspective. The most important step is recognizing your intention. It's a slow process, and it can be grueling. Sometimes I feel very emotionally and mentally liberated. Sometimes I can feel how weary I am, because sometimes we do that. Sometimes we suppress those negative emotions and find other ways, often destructive, to redirect that energy and missed connection. Or we just flat out ignore it. Because it can be very tiring to acknowledge how tired you are, take your time. Start small. You can reflect for 2 minutes today. Tomorrow you can do 5. Progressively, your stamina will get better and you'll be able to sit down and think for a little longer until you feel raggedy or all juiced out. When you're reflecting, it's a pathway to becoming more self-aware. So in that sense, you want to understand who you really are, not make assumptions because it's an easier pill to swallow. In order to get away from dwelling and enter a more productive and safer introspection sphere, ask yourself what instead of why. What questions tend to be more forward-thinking? What are some goals I have for myself this week? What are some things I can do to take care of myself? What have I been doing well so far? What do I feel now? When you ask yourself why, you're stuck thinking about the past. Science says we can't accurately uncover our past thinking, and by trying to do so, we will make up facts.
What do I have to say to keep you back?
I like knowing myself, or at least trying to do so. One thing that I learned from self-reflecting by talking to my girlfriend is that when I get emotionally frustrated with someone close to my heart, I can be very closed off. It becomes difficult for me to see and understand from another person's perspective. It contradicts pretty much everything I believe in. But knowing that fragility and understanding how and when I get to that state is so vital in my journey to living a content life.
No